Here we go.
Money, money, making crap for money, money, and money, money. Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is officially over. The NBA is back as of Tuesday, October 21st, which feels oddly early for me. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it feels oddly early. NFL, not NFL, NBA is back on your TV. And we got an interesting season to start off with. We got the heavy as the head that wears the crown, the Oklahoma City Thunders, look to do something that has not been done since 2018. 13 years ago. Jesus, I feel old now. That is, go back to back in the NBA Finals. Can they do it? It's not as easy as it was last year. The West has retooled, rebuilt, and restocked. The East, although may be limping, has some teams that could potentially pull a dark horse. So let's break it down. Let's talk about all the more interesting storylines going into this NBA season. Right? And obviously, we're going to start off with repeat or bust. Can Oklahoma City do what the Warriors did in 2018, which is repeat? Mind you, since 2018, so for the past 15 years, there's only been 3 teams to go back to back. 2010 Lakers, Miami in 2013, and the Warriors in 2018. 3 teams in 15 years are the only to go back to back in an NBA Finals. That is truly rare. And when you think about it, it is always harder to repeat than it is to win just one. It's super hard to do because you got to look at about some injuries, right? Playoff mileage. As much as you think it doesn't get to you, it does get to you. Those legs get super heavy, especially when you don't have as long as a lot of other teams have to go on to the offseason. Those legs get heavy. Injuries pile up very quickly when you are on a short rest for an off season, especially when you are the champions because you're always moving, you're always going, and now you got to go back into basically the grind, and now you go from the hunter to the hunted. That's another case because now you're the champ, so everybody's giving you their best shot. So it's no more like, hey, they're a good team and we want to take them down. Like, no, they're the champs. We want to prove that we are on their level. We want to prove that we are better than them. So now you have to worry about that. And for Oklahoma City, it's a little bit easier for them because they kind of have been the hunted for like at least 2 years right now, right? Like they've been kind of in that rarefied era of like the West elite. So I mean, they're used to it, but it's a big difference from being just like, the number 1 seed, the best team in the league, to going now to being the actual hunted. So that could take a lot of fight out of them. And speaking of fight, that could also be a huge factor because you can say this, I can say this, we can say this together. Once you win a title, winning 2 is good, but once you win 1, especially if you're like a role player, right? Like their big 3, Chet, J-Dub, and Shea, like, yeah, they want to win more. They want to be in that elite group of, 3 or plus rings. But if you're somebody that's a role player, that's, on the bench, who got you a title, that hunger kind of fades away, right? Like you won a title, right? And especially if you're just like a rotational guy, if you're not somebody that's, getting like 15, 20, 30 plus minutes a game. If you're a rotational guy, you're getting 5 to maybe 10 minutes a game. Winning the title always does up your, price, right? Price goes up. You won a title. So you can argue like, hey, I'm an NBA champion. So, I'm going to need some more money. So that ups your going price if you do want to leave. And even still, it fades away a little bit because, like I said, teams win titles and you don't see that same hunger in them anymore. Like, again, the top players have that hunger, but some of those role players kind of just like, hey, man, I could retire today. I'd still be going down as an NBA champion. I'm not having a Hall of Fame career, but I can go and say, hey, I took a picture with the Larry O'Brien trophy. I got a ring. So no matter where I go, price goes up for me. Price is up for me. Everybody else, cool. Like, y'all want to win a second one, I'm go for it. But for me, I'm good. So that hunger goes away a little bit. And while I don't think, because they're a young team, I don't think that hunger will go away so much. It is just human nature, especially if you're not getting that playing time that you think. You're just like, I got my ring, I'm good. And then just again, just the uptick in the league. The West has gotten so much better than it was last year. The West is leagues better this year. The Rockets are better. Denver got better. There's some up and coming teams like the Spurs. You know, they, the Lakers are there. Minnesota is there. So there are teams that are still just as hungry, just as bad as you. You just want it as bad as you. And seeing how you did it, there are a lot of teams are going to copy you and try to do it the same way. So yeah, this time around, it's always harder to repeat as a champion. Do I think they can do it? Absolutely. I think they can do it. I think the Thunder have that dog mentality in them to want to be a two-time NBA champion. Go back to back. Do something that hasn't been done in almost a decade. Win 2 titles back to back. Prove that you are not just a good team, not just a great team, that you are one of the best teams in basketball. Because for them, their roster hasn't changed that much. So they have basically the same team. So it wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be hard for them to sit up there and repeat and get another title. I can see it happening. So if I'm the Thunder, I'm going for it. I'm trying to repeat as much as I could. Speaking of the West retooling, the West, everyone has gotten better. All the top teams have gotten better, and very few times do we see something like this happen. And obviously, the team that did get the best out of everyone else, in my opinion, was the Houston Rockets, right? They made a big trade before the season was over. The To me, still a little petty of KD. OKC right on the door of winning the title, and Kevin Durant got to come in and be like, "Hey, I'm getting traded to Houston," right? But yeah, Houston, a team that was top 10 in defense last year, a team that was very good in defense but was lacking a lot on offense, goes out and get one of the greatest offensive scorers in the game today. That's something to behold of, right? Like, that is something to be like, okay, this team is serious. Right? This is their push the chips to the table moment. This is their team saying, we feel that we were one player away and we went out and got that one player. And KD does add something to it, right? Like, he is not the KD from Golden State. He's not the KD from Oklahoma City, right? He is a little bit older. He is a little bit, not grungy, but more, gruff around the edges, right? Like, he's never going to be the guy that, is going to be the face of the NBA, but he's still KD. He's still a guy that can give you 25 points a game when he's healthy. He's still a guy that can give you about 40% from 3. And that's what they were missing last year. They did not have an efficient scorer over there. And getting him, adding Clint Capella, keeping guys like Jabari Smith, adding guys like Steven Adams. The only thing that does scare me about this Houston Rockets team is the loss of Fred VanVleet. I think that is going to be a bigger deal than a lot of people are making it out to be. Like, while KD is great, KD is going to give you like a lot of offensive points and going to be your leading scorer, I think the missing of Fred VanVleet is going to be something serious. And I don't think a lot of people truly like want to say that, because again, it's just they got KD, so they're automatically good. But that's going to be a big issue. But overall, defensively, like I said, they were top 10 defense last year, but they were bottom 10 in offense. They couldn't offensively score at all, and that was a big problem about their loss in the playoffs. They couldn't keep up. And now adding KD to this team, they definitely retooled this team, right? Like, this isn't a rebuild anymore. This isn't the happy-go-lucky story of a young upcoming squad like this. This is a squad that is saying, we are ready to take on Oklahoma City. We are ready to take on Denver Nuggets. We are ready to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're ready to be that top team in the West. And they are doing it. This is they're pushing the chips into the middle of the table and going all in. This is we were one player away last year and we got our player. So this could potentially be a team that can challenge Oklahoma City for the top spot in the West. And I'll say this, this feels like Oklahoma City versus Houston Rockets feels like it's kind of like the dueling of two eras, if you want to think of it like that, because Oklahoma City is the team that was built through the draft, built through trades, built through free agency signing. They did it the quote unquote right way. They didn't buy a title. They worked and grinded for their title, right? This is the team that was built through the draft, right? Built the right way. Whereas like Houston Rockets kind of feels like a blast from the past, a little bit of a built, well, not so much a built, but a bought team, so to speak. Like KD is, bought in to win the title. He's coming into this team to make it a super team, if you will, right? Like it doesn't feel like a super team of past where it was a Miami Heat, it wasn't a Golden State Warriors. It wasn't, even though people don't want to call them a super team, it wasn't the Boston Celtics of years past, right? Like this feels like the battling of two eras of seeing like which era was the right way. Was it buying a championship or building towards a championship? This is what this matchup feels like. So I feel like Houston is right there. I don't think they can overtake Oklahoma City. I still just don't feel like they're ready to take that step, but it will be some hell of a great games between these two teams. To see the young up and coming squad versus the the up and coming squad with a mix of veterans in there. And again, watch out for Duke. Emeka Duke, he can coach up some schemes. Defensively, they got them right. And with Clint Capella and Steven Adams in there, this team is going to be very hard to score on. And adding this offensive player like a Kevin Durant definitely helps them out. And a team who I think quietly put together a very good offseason where, again, they don't make a lot of noise, but obviously quietly they put together a very competitive team is the Denver Nuggets, right? Obviously, we got Jokic. They got rid of Michael Porter Jr. They got in Cam Johnson. They got Bruce Brown in back, and they added Valanciunas. So this team has the size, has the wings now, and they still have the best player in basketball right now, too. So, again, nothing super flashy, no names that will catch your eyes or stand out in the headlines or anything like that. But this team has quietly put together a good team again. And they seem like they are not only competitive, but they're waiting to get back to that title. Right? Jokic, it depends if Jokic cares or not. It depends if Jokic wants to actually care about actually winning or actually cares about it. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, this Denver Nuggets team, didn't rebuild. They just kind of defined themselves as a team that is going to be hard to beat. A team that is going to be, once again, defensively very hard to score. Because quiet as it kept, Valanciunas is a really good player. Like he doesn't get like the flashy headlines or anything like that, but quiet as it's kept, Valanciunas is a very good player. Adding defensively back with Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, who can give you what Michael Porter Jr. could do offensively, and he can do what Michael Porter Jr. couldn't do, defend. So yeah, this team is really good. They can make some noise. To me, if we had to do the whole ranking thing, they're the third best team, right? It goes Oklahoma City, Houston, Denver, as of now, right? As of now, that's how it goes. But quiet as it kept, those are the top three teams in the West to me. And to me, one of the bigger question marks is Minnesota, because now they are getting into that range where they are no longer the surprise team anymore, right? Ant went on his Thanos run, knocking out LeBron, knocking out Steph, knocking out Luca. He went on his Thanos run, and he is ready to take that next step into superstardom. And he could do it this year. They, again, didn't make too many changes. The only question mark we have is, once again, is Rudy Gobert, can he keep up offensively? The team is basically the same. They couldn't really make any changes because, quiet as it kept, got no money to make no changes. But they are no longer the, kind of up and coming squad that just wants, that is happy to be there. No, like, they are legitimately a team to beat. And it goes back to my hunted versus the hunter. Like, for a long time, they were the hunters, right? They were happy to knock teams out. They were happy to do the Thanos. They were happy to be, as I'll put it, Ant was happy to be the legend killer. He was happy to be Randy Orton. But now, what happens when the legend killer becomes the legend? And now, squads are looking at you to knock you out. They're not on the level of the OKC where it's just like, hey, they're the champs, but they're an elite squad now. You have a superstar in Ant. Teams are looking at you and saying, like, especially those up and coming teams, a San Antonio, they're looking at you to knock you out. They're not just kind of playing around anymore. They're not just being like, hey, we want to kind of beat, we hope we can kind of keep up with them. Like, no, they're trying to knock you out. And I don't know if they can keep up. There's nothing against it, but I just genuinely do not think that Minnesota is going to have a good year. I still think they make the playoffs, but I do not think they get far in it again. I just don't know if they have the horses to run with a lot of retooled things in the West. Because you look at the Golden State Warriors, they didn't get younger per se, but what they lack for in youth, they make up for in basketball IQ. They added Milton, they added Al Horford, and they added the other Curry. So now they have, okay, to be fair, because I know somebody's going to be in the chat saying, well, technically they hired and waived him. They got him, they just waived him because they're going to sign him later when he's worth more money. So that way they don't have to pay him that much. Just because he's Steph's brother, don't mean they still not going to pay him. Don't mean they don't overpay for him. Like, no. We gonna they doing what every dad does. We gonna wait a few more months until it becomes cheaper. Then we gonna pick you up. That's what they're doing. But they're adding another Curry, so they're gonna have both of the Currys. So they added IQ and spacing and depth on their bench. They still have a young team as well. So if this is the kind of sort of the last ride for Steph Curry, they're going to try their very best to kind of get, at the very least, back to what they were. If this is truly the last time we're going to see someone like a Steph Curry in the league, they're going to have to do it. And now they're just adding in more smart players, right? Like, obviously this team did not get younger. They got smarter. They added players to whom they believe can help not only grow this young team, but win them some games. So the Warriors are a very hard out. If Steph can stay at the level that he was, you can see kind of a little bit of a fall off with him. But if he can stay there, if he can kind of turn back the clock and drop those threes like he was, those half-court shots, it's still something that you don't want to see. And so, a little peek behind the scene, when I was doing this, when I was writing this script and I was looking up, and like people were talking about like, oh, you got the Clippers. The Clippers are great, right? I was like, no, they are not. First of all, the Clippers have other problems that they have to deal with before they can even get to basketball. Like this whole thing when they may or may not have committed fraud. So there's that. There's that. Just be careful. We may see the FBI come on the court and just pull Kawhi aside, be like, come in, let me talk to you in this dark room over here real quick. But as far as basketball, for the Clippers, it's always going to be the same thing. Can they stay healthy? Can they stay healthy? Right now that it's come out that Kawhi might not have been hurt all of those times. It's just the check didn't clear, so that's why he didn't play. But yeah, can they still help? Can they stay healthy is the biggest question. Can Kawhi and PG stay on the court? If they can't stay on the court, this LA Clippers team might be good enough to get maybe a run for the play in. If those two are on the team, there may be a 5-6 seed at best. But for the Clippers, it's still going to be, are they better than the top teams in the West? I don't think they're better than Minnesota. I definitely don't think they're better than Houston. I for sure as hell don't think they're better than Denver. So they have to figure out what they are going to do with this team. And then we got the upstart teams where I do believe this will be their breakout kind of year, like San Antonio with Wemby. I feel like this has to be his breakout year because there is only so many times that we can kind of have this is it with Wemby, right? Obviously, his rookie season, we weren't expecting him to kind of take this team to the playoffs. That team was not built for it. But his second year getting hurt, getting Chris Paul there helped a lot. You can kind of see him starting to grow, but then he got hurt again. And that's going to be the key thing is the help of Wemby. If Wemby can stay healthy for at the very least 60 games, I'm pretty sure they can get into the playoffs. Maybe a play-in team. Because I will say this, for the West, 50 wins ain't going to do it. 50 wins probably will still have you being like maybe a play-in tournament team. The West is going to eat itself alive this year. The West is going to, we talk about the Wild Wild West, the West is going to eat itself alive. It's going to be ugly games and ugly wins. And I don't think a 50-win team can slide into the play-in tournament. I really don't think a 60-team win will be a 30 seed. Do I think we're going to have like a 70-win team, something like that? But no. But it's going to be 65 and plus to get to those first 3 seeds. And then I think those first 3 seeds are kind of set, and then we're going to see what we saw last year, where 4 through 11 was changing up and down for like the last 3 months of the NBA season. It's going to be up, it's going to be down, it's going to be all the way around. And obviously, we have to talk about the Lakers, right? What are they going to do? You know, LeBron had us all fooled, or at least had me fooled. Not really. I said he wasn't retiring. I said it wasn't retirement, but I didn't think he was going to do an old man drink and decide he wanted to be the spokesperson for Hennessy. I didn't think that was going to happen. But the biggest question is, what is Luka Doncic? Right? Because I forgot he's been in the league for 8 years. He's been in the league for 8 years. And he hasn't been an MVP, hasn't really won any awards. He's been to the finals once. He got traded to the Lakers, and people are trying to say he's the heir apparent to LeBron on the Lakers. This is going to sound weird, but this has to be Luka Doncic's breakout year. Like, he has to kind of take that next step, because we've thrown the superstar label on him, but he hasn't really earned it yet, right? Like, you look at Ant OTM, he got it out the mud. Legitimately, he got it out the mud. And Ant looks like a better star than Luka. If I had a choice between who would I want to start a franchise around, between Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic, I'm choosing Anthony Edwards because, yeah, Luka is a highlight reel waiting to happen. When he is on his game, he is a 30 points a game type of player. But as far as like a star is concerned, I'm going to say something controversial. I don't know if Luka Doncic is a star. Like, he's a great player, but a star, I don't know. And that's a big question going into this season. When all the eyes on the Lakers once again, from the storyline of, is this LeBron James's last ride? What's going to happen with Bronny James? How is this team going to fit when LeBron does leave? How is this team going to be with LeBron still there? Because LeBron is getting old. His sciatica is messing up. So he's going to be missing some games. Is Luka ready to kind of take that next step and kind of be the guy? Like, yeah, he was a guy in Dallas who was a relatively smaller market than LA. But now you got to be in an LA market and you're still having question marks about, are you really the guy there? Like, if he falters at all, if he doesn't play well, if he doesn't fix that defense, we have to start asking those questions of, is Luka just really good at scoring but a liability on the defensive end? And can a team confidently say, we believe Luka Doncic is enough to get us to an NBA final? I don't know. And again, with the West being the way the West is, I don't know if a 50-win Lakers team can slide into the play-in tournament. I don't know if if the Lakers could even get to 60 wins. And that's the big question. Is Luka Doncic a star or is he just a really good scorer? That's the big question. But again, overall, the West didn't get any worse. It only got better. Some teams got older, but they got wiser. And they're all targeting Oklahoma City Thunder. So we have a big matchup in the West coming up. And the first game in the West is going to be Oklahoma City versus Houston Rockets. They're going to hang those banners up, and we're going to see, hopefully, what I would like to see, a preview of the Western Conference Finals next year. So in 7 days, shout out to Samara from the Ring. In 7 days, we going to see a big-time matchup first off the bat. Only on NBC. So I went kind of deep into the West because I think the West is going to be the hardest division or the hardest conference to come out of. The East isn't lacking either. The only problem is the East, it's kind of now wide open because the top two teams, Indiana and Boston, both are dealing with not only injuries to their star players in Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum, but they also lost a lot of players. Indiana lost Miles Turner to Milwaukee. Boston lost Kristaps Porzingis to Atlanta. So with their two star players being out, the East is wide open, and especially for Indiana because Indiana's have to live with the taste in their mouth of, we were right there. Right? Like, that title is going to have the biggest what if on it I think we'll see in the NBA. Because Tyrese Halliburton was on a run of a lifetime in the playoffs, right? Had big shots in all of them. Either game-winning, game-tying, or game-clinching shots in all of his playoff runs, right? And then for him to get hurt at the start of the finals, and for Indiana to still somewhat be close into it until like the few minutes last and whatever. For Indiana, they had to sit with that all season. For Boston to lose Tatum the way they did, like, Boston didn't get any worse. They still have that's why you have two superstars on your team with a Jaylen Brown. But the Kristaps Porzingis, and I'll be honest with you, the Jrue Holiday loss is going to feel way hell more important than Kristaps Porzingis, and the Al Horford loss too. But that Jrue Holiday, your defensive guy that could still give you 15 points a game, that one, they're going to feel that one. And that's why I say the East is wide open. Like, there is no clear-cut, like, team to beat in the East. It is scattered. I'm going to make a wild prediction. I think that the East is going to have so much fluctuation in their teams. Like, there's not a team, I think, that is a clear-cut number one seed in the East, right? Obviously, Atlanta got better, getting Kristaps Porzingis, getting Nah, that's what I'll call him, Nah, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, getting, spacing, getting rim protection, adding Kristaps and Trey together, that is going to be something crazy. But to me, that still question marks around, is Trey ready to take that next step to be a superstar, right? Atlanta finally gets what they needed, so there's no more excuses around why Atlanta can't be the top team. You got Orlando, who went out and got Desmond Bane to add to that three-point shooter, right? Now Ragnar and Paulo has a guy on the outside that they have space that they can work with now, right? You just can't make them be shooters anymore, right? But they're a scrappy team, and I still don't think Orlando is ready to take that next step, right? Cleveland obviously was one of the best teams in basketball last year. They didn't really change up too much. They got more, bench shooting, but are they going to repeat what they did last year, having multiple 10-game winning streaks in one season? Are they going to, but then still fell off in the playoffs? Philadelphia is there, but again, same deal. Are they going to be healthy? Are they going to be healthy? Is Embiid going to want to play? Is Maxey, can Maxey carry this team? Tobias, their rookie, already got hurt. So the only key thing there was that. And now Philadelphia has biggest question marks around them. The biggest one being, will Embiid finish this season as a 76er? That's the main one right there. Will he be a 76er at the end of the season? That's huge, right? Brooklyn got Michael Porter Jr. So offensively, they're going to be great, but defensively, who's going to guard anybody? Because nobody on the team can guard anybody. So whoever plays Brooklyn, their best chance is just making it into a shootout. Whoever gets the ball last, basically. Milwaukee, cool. They got Miles Turner, so they can add to some depth and defense so they can get back to being a defensive team. But the question marks around Giannis, is he going to stay in Milwaukee? Did Milwaukee do enough for them to keep Giannis there? Or is it finally going to be the time where Giannis just had enough and up and leaves? You got the Bulls, who again, no more real trade drama around outside of Vooch a little bit. They got the influx of youth. They need to work offensively. Defensively, they were eighth, so defensively, they're good. Offensively, we'll see how it goes. Giddey is in the system for another year. Are they ready to take that next step and win a play-in tournament or actually do something unthinkable here? Crazy talk for the Bulls. Not try to just play in for the play-in tournament. Maybe try for, I don't know, a 6th seed. Even something crazier like that, a 5th seed. Right? Something, right? The Hornets got better. Sexton, Dunleavy, joining Ball. This is a movement, but again, are they ready to take that next step and be a legitimate contender for, at the very least, a play-in? So you see the problem in the East. The East has so many question marks around their teams. We don't know what to think of the East. The West, at the very least, has a solid foundation. They know the teams are going to be good. Right? The Knicks, maybe. Again, it's the Knicks, so use that with a grain of salt if you want. We don't know what the Knicks are going to be step to step, but especially now with the new head coach. Toronto, same difference. Detroit's the same difference. Flipping, I don't know, maybe Washington, Miami. There's so many question marks in the East this year. I don't know who is a standout head better than each team. And for this year especially in the East, I truly do think that with everything going on in the East, there is not one team that I can pick that is head and shoulders better. If you held a gun to my head based off of what they did last year, I guess it would be the Knicks because they're the most healthy, the most stable. They still have all of their superstars. So they would be the odds on favorite to be the number one seed. But new head coach, new system, the fear of regression, the fear of the Knicks being the Knicks and taking a step backwards. With the East, it's so many question marks in it. That's why I say the East is going to fluctuate. We really won't know who are the top teams in the East till maybe before the All-Star break. We might know who's the top dog in the East by the All-Star break. Because as of right now, the Knicks are the only ones I can see that could potentially do it. Everybody else, there's too many question marks on this team for me to say that they are head and shoulders better than everybody else. So yeah, this NBA season is going to be exciting. It's going to be ecstatic. I can't wait to truly see it, truly watch everything going down, to find all the stories, everything going down. So y'all stay in tune. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna give y'all all the updates I can on everything going on in NBA basketball this season. But yeah. Oh, and if we're doing the whole who wins awards and whatever, you know what? I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna do something out of the ordinary. What's that, James? I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm just joking with you. No, honestly, I think MVP. I think if he takes that next step, if he can truly break into that superstar realm, I think Ant could win MVP this year. I think it's highly possible for him to win it. Um, Obviously, rookie of the year. I really didn't even talk about I really didn't talk about like any rookies, but like Cooper Flag, I think probably end up being it. I think Cooper Flag will end up being rookie of the year. I don't see too many other rookies that are head and shoulders stand out better than anybody else. And I don't know. It's so hard because like with like defensive player of the year, you can give it to anybody. But I think Kyle Sexton could probably do it again this year. Well, not again, but I think Kyle Sexton can do it. But yeah, it's so hard. So yeah, those are my awards. And I guess we're gonna do this coach of the year. If this team can excel, I think Billy Donovan could win coach of the year because I do think the Bulls are ready to take that next step into being a team that actually is ready for that show. So maybe that's it. But yeah, other than that, we'll see the awards. But yeah, Ant for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flag, Coach of the Year, Billy Donovan. So yeah, that is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. Shout out to y'all for listening. Shout out for Fluent Media Network for having me on. Until next time, guys, I got two fingers for you. Deuces.